Anyway, back to the home screens. If we just switch across to the widget screen, I can show you that. Here we've got a clock widget and just a widget to show us of any notifications, such as new emails and messages and calls and stuff like that. And we can actually tap and hold on these, and then we can move them around the display or just get rid of them altogether if we want. And at the bottom here we've got a little list, again horizontally scrollable, of more different bits and pieces that we could put up on the screen. So there we've got a calendar that I can put there, and maybe a calculator as well that we can move off to the side. And then once you're done, you can just tap the OK button at the top, and there it is, all lined up nicely for you. So that's quite handy, but there's not very many widgets. If we go back into it, you can see there's only a sort of a small selection of widgets. There's not an awful lot compared to some other phones on the market, but for a non-smartphone it's quite impressive. The next screen along, we've got the contacts menu, and in here all the contacts that are listed as favourites in the actual contacts application, which you can see down the bottom here, all these ones with stars next to them, all those contacts will actually appear with their contact images in this screen for you to quickly dial or send a message to. Unfortunately, the ActiveSync doesn't work quite so good with our ActiveSync account for some reason, our Google ActiveSync account, so none of the contact images or phone numbers were actually copied over, so you can't see the contact images there. And the next screen is multimedia, and it's much the same as the contacts one. Again, you've got sort of rows of your favourites. This time we've got favourite photos on the right here, favourite music on the left. Again, you can go into the music application and actually set all your songs as favourites that you want to appear on the screen, and again with the photos you can go and select your favourites to appear here, and then from this menu you can actually select the photos to have a look at them and scroll through them and things like that. So it's quite handy, but not the most useful because it's not a proper photo viewer, not a proper music player either, although they can both be used directly from here. Moving on from that, we're just going to have a quick look at the web browser. Right, so we're finally all loaded up on the MobileBone web page here. It takes a little while because the HSDPA connection is not quite as quick as I would have liked. It's actually quite a slow connection. But even on Wi-Fi, the phone actually struggles to actually render the pages particularly quickly. You can see here it's not quite as smooth as some rival devices, maybe like the iPhone for example, is a bit less sort of stuttery than this one. But there's pinch zoom support, just like the iPhone, but again it's not quite as polished. It doesn't always recognise that you're trying to make a pinch, and when you do it actually takes quite a while to zoom in sometimes. As you can see here, it's not the fastest or the easiest experience. It's not really recognising what I'm doing and reacting straight away. But it's not a bad experience. I mean, as you can see, we've got the full HTML page here. There you can see it zoomed in finally, and it's the full HTML page just like you'd see on the desktop computer in your home. But it's just a bit slower to actually load and navigate than perhaps it would be on, say, an iPhone or maybe one of the Android devices. I'm just going to quickly tap the URL address entry box here so we can show you the keypad. First keypad here is just a normal numeric keypad, and you can actually use predictive text with this to enter bits and pieces in a message. Here the predictive text is turned off, as you can see at the bottom, for just entering a URL. But if we switch the device over to landscape mode, it flicks across into a full QWERTY keyboard, as you can see, and text entry is generally quite good. It's not hugely accurate. There's actually no spaces between the different keys, as you can see, so you can accidentally knock the wrong key sometimes when you're actually trying to type in. But it's not too bad, and I managed to get some messages out pretty quickly, and you also get predictive text even with the QWERTY keyboard if you wish. So that's the LG Viewty Smart. Overall, I think the handset could be recommended. It's not a bad little device. The camera's pretty nice, and also it's got the DivX video playback and Wi-Fi and Google Maps on it, which is pretty good. There's also a GPS system in this, so you can actually geotag your photos and stuff when you take them. Though oddly, you can't use the GPS receiver with Google Maps for some reason. But nevertheless, we still give this a recommended rating, and I've been Russ Jeffers from MobileBone.com.